Now, what we put on the screen, it'll make the backs of their necks crawl.
Two eyes, shining in the dark.
Hollywood has long been a symbol of glamour, ambition, and dreams, but beneath its glittering surface lies a complex web of power, manipulation, and sacrifice. Here are 8 films that expose the dark side of Hollywood's golden age.
What do they look like?
Like 5 men dressed like cats.
When an audience pays to see a picture like this, what do they pay for?
To get the pants scared off them.
And what scares the human race more than...
Number 8. The Bad and the Beautiful. Vincente Minnelli's 1952 masterpiece, The Bad and the Beautiful, offers a riveting exploration of this duality and exposes the darker facets of the entertainment industry. From its exploration of ambition, betrayal, and manipulation, it serves as both a celebration and a critique of the movie industry. Let's begin with the unmissable point of ambition and the cost of success. The protagonist, Jonathan Shields, is played by Kirk Douglas, and this character embodies the archetypal ambitious film producer who will stop at nothing to achieve success. Shields holds significant power over those around him, and sadly, it reflects the hierarchical and often predatory nature of the studio system. With Shields' character, the film critiques the unchecked authority of producers and studio heads who can make or break careers, often at great personal cost to those beneath them. His ruthless methods, including exploiting personal relationships and betraying those closest to him, reveal the lengths to which individuals in Hollywood might go to secure their positions. The film portrays the industry as one where personal ethics are often sacrificed for professional gains. Through the course of the film, Shields manipulates 3 key characters: writer James Lee Bartlow, actress Georgia Lorison, and director Fred Amiel, to serve his own ambitions. The film itself is structured as 3 interconnected stories. Fred Amiel, played by Barry Sullivan, is a director whose creative vision is stolen for Shields' personal gain. Georgia Lorison, played by Lana Turner, is a vulnerable actress thrust into stardom only to be discarded when no longer useful. Then, James Lee Bartlow, played by Dick Powell, was a writer whose personal tragedy is leveraged for the sake of a movie. You can see that each character's story highlights how the Hollywood system often commodifies talent, reducing individuals to tools for profit and prestige. There's no denying that Shields' betrayal of these collaborators underlines the exploitative nature of the industry. And through the experiences of Bartlow, Lorison, and Amiel, the film critiques the illusion of Hollywood as a dream factory. While the characters achieve professional success, their personal lives are left in ruins due to Shields' manipulation. This duality surely exposes the gap between Hollywood's glamorous facade and the harsh realities of the industry.
Shirley Clayton, we're going to miss you, Shirley.
Number 7. They Shoot Horses, Don't They? Directed by Sidney Pollack and based on Horace McCoy's 1935 novel They Shoot Horses, Don't They?, is a grim portrayal of desperation and exploitation during the Great Depression. Although not set directly within the Hollywood studio system, the 1969 film critiques the entertainment industry, particularly its commodification of human suffering for spectacle. The film follows a group of desperate individuals who participate in a grueling dance marathon, competing for a cash prize during the Great Depression. The marathon is an exploitative spectacle where participants dance for days on end with only brief rest periods while audiences voyeuristically watch their suffering. Here, Gloria Beatty, played by Jane Fonda, is a cynical, disillusioned woman who sees the contest as her last chance to escape poverty. Robert Siverton, played by Michael Sarrazin, is a drifting young man who becomes Gloria's partner, reluctantly drawn into the marathon. You also have Rocky, the manipulative and sadistic MC who orchestrates the event, exploiting the participants for entertainment value. As the marathon drags on, physical and emotional tolls mount. Sadly, it all culminates in a tragic ending. Gloria, overwhelmed by despair and seeing no escape from her suffering, persuades Robert to shoot her, delivering the bleak title line, "They shoot horses, don't they?" The parallel here is as clear as day. The dance marathon mirrors the Hollywood system's exploitation of performers for profit. Just as the marathon reduces contestants to commodities, Hollywood during its golden age often treated actors and crew as disposable assets. The grueling demands placed on the participants, who are pushed to their physical and emotional limits for the amusement of audiences, echo the studio system's relentless pursuit of spectacle, often at the expense of its stars' well-being. We love how this film highlighted the ever-present illusion of opportunity. The contestants joined the marathon with hopes of a better future, believing the cash prize would change their lives. Similarly, Hollywood sold the dream of stardom during its golden age, alluring countless hopefuls to its doors. However, for most, the dream remained elusive, replaced by disillusionment and exploitation. Gloria's bitterness and ultimate despair reflect the dashed hopes of many who sought success in the entertainment industry but only found hardship. Rocky, the MC, embodies the manipulative power dynamics of the entertainment world. He plays the contestants against each other, stages dramatic moments for the audience, and ensures the marathon remains profitable, regardless of the toll on the participants. His character surely parallels the studio executives and producers of the Golden Age, who wielded immense power over stars and did not mind subjecting them to dehumanizing treatment for the sake of profit and control. Films of the Golden Age frequently glamorized hardship while obscuring the realities faced by those within the industry. Gloria's plight particularly highlights the particular vulnerabilities of women in both the marathon and Hollywood. Her bitterness stems from repeated exploitation and dismissal, reflecting the challenges faced by actresses in the Golden Age, who were often objectified, typecast, and discarded once they no longer fit the mold of desirability. Overall, the marathon is a microcosm of the American dream gone wrong, where success is promised but rarely delivered. By portraying the dance marathon as a relentless, dehumanizing spectacle, the film invites viewers to question the cost of entertainment and reflect on how systems of power capitalize on the vulnerabilities of the desperate. Number 6. The Big Knife. At a time when Hollywood's golden age was characterized by glamour, success, and artistic achievement, The Big Knife came on to expose it as a system rife with corruption, manipulation, and moral compromise. This 1955 film, directed by Robert Aldrich and based on Clifford Odets' play, is a scathing critique of that very system. The Big Knife revolves around Charles Castle, a successful Hollywood actor trapped in a Faustian pact with the studio system. Played by Jack Palance, Castle is a talented performer whose career has been carefully crafted by his studio boss, Stanley Hoff, a ruthless and controlling figure. At the start of the film, Castle is conflicted. His contract with Hoff's studio is up for renewal, and he faces pressure to re-sign despite his desire to break free and regain his integrity. Hoff, however, uses blackmail and manipulation to ensure Castle stays. He threatens to expose a dark secret from Castle's past involving a hit-and-run accident covered up by the studio. Meanwhile, Castle's personal life is in shambles. His wife, Marion, disapproves of his compromises and contemplates leaving him. Castle's inner torment grows as he realizes he's losing both his autonomy and the people he loves. The film builds to a tragic conclusion as Castle, unable to reconcile his artistic integrity with the demands of the studio system, makes a desperate and irreversible decision. Charles Castle's predicament reflects the oppressive nature of the studio system during Hollywood's golden age. Studios exercised near total control over their stars, dictating not only their professional choices, but often their personal lives as well. Contracts were binding, and actors who resisted risked being blacklisted or having their careers destroyed. Castle's struggle to break free from Hoff's grip mirrors the real-life experiences of many actors who found themselves trapped in exploitative contracts, unable to pursue roles that aligned with their artistic ambitions or moral principles. Hoff, of course, represents the unchecked power of studio heads, who often act as puppet masters behind the scenes. Hoff's use of blackmail, coercion, and manipulation to control Castle underscores the toxic power dynamics that permeated Hollywood during this era. The film highlights how these figures wielded their influence to silence dissent, cover up scandals, and maintain the image of their stars, often at great personal and moral cost to the individuals involved. There is also something to be seen in Castle's deteriorating marriage to Marion, It reflects the strain that Hollywood's demands placed on personal relationships. The film also critiques how the studio system prioritized public image over the genuine human connection, forcing stars to maintain appearances even as their private lives unraveled. While Hollywood's golden age was synonymous with glamour and success, The Big Knife strips away this facade to reveal a world of cynicism, corruption, and despair. Castle's luxurious lifestyle is presented not as a reward but as a gilded cage, trapping him in a system that dehumanizes and exploits him. The title itself, The Big Knife, symbolizes the betrayals and wounds inflicted by the industry, both literally and metaphorically. The film's tragic ending underscores the human toll of Hollywood's darker side. Castle's final act of desperation is a powerful indictment of a system that sacrifices individual well-being for profit and control. His downfall reflects the ultimate price of complicity in a corrupt system, serving as both a critique of Hollywood and a cautionary tale about the cost of ambition.
Lonnie,
Yes?
I must go home.
Well, you can go home.
I mean alone.
Number 5. What Price Hollywood? Directed by George Cukor and written by Adela Rogers St. John's and Jane Murfin, What Price Hollywood is a prescient exploration of the darker realities of the entertainment industry. Often seen as a precursor to later films like A Star is Born, this 1932 film examines the personal cost of fame and the toxic dynamics within Hollywood's studio system during its so-called golden age. The story follows Mary Evans, a waitress at the Brown Derby restaurant who dreams of becoming a movie star. One fateful night, she meets Max Carey, a famous but self-destructive film director. Max, impressed by Mary's charm and ambition, offers her an entry into Hollywood. Mary quickly rises to fame, becoming a celebrated actress, but her success is overshadowed by personal and professional struggles. Max's alcoholism equally worsens, threatening both his career and their friendship. At some point, Mary marries Lonnie Borden, a wealthy polo player, but their relationship falters as Lonnie grows resentful of Mary's career and public life. The film's emotional climax comes when Max, having lost everything to his addiction, tragically takes his own life. Mary is left to navigate the fallout, balancing her stardom with the immense personal toll it has taken. It is easy to see how Mary's rise from a waitress to a star reflects the dream of countless hopefuls flocking to Hollywood during the Golden Age. However, the film reveals how the system exploits such ambition. Mary's talent and charm make her a valuable commodity, but the studio's demands and the public's expectations force her to sacrifice personal happiness and autonomy. The film critiques the predatory nature of Hollywood, where dreams are dangled as bait, only to trap individuals in a cycle of exploitation and dependency. The title itself, What Price Hollywood, asks a critical question. What must one give up to achieve success? Mary gains fame and fortune, but loses her marriage, her privacy, and, to an extent, her sense of self. The film portrays fame as a double-edged sword. While it brings adoration and opportunity, it also isolates stars and makes them vulnerable to public scrutiny and personal disillusionment. Max Carey's tragic arc exposes the darker side of Hollywood's pressures, particularly its toll on those behind the camera. A once brilliant director, Max succumbs to alcoholism, unable to cope with the industry's relentless demands and the fickle nature of success. His relationship with Mary is both touching and tragic. While he helps launch her career, his own descent serves as a cautionary tale about the industry's capacity to destroy those it once celebrated. Max's suicide is a stark indictment of Hollywood's failure to support its creators, especially those struggling with mental health and substance abuse. Now, let's take a look at Mary's journey. It reflects the precarious position of women in Hollywood's golden age. While she achieves stardom, her success is often framed through her relationships with men. Max, who gives her her start, and Lonnie, who resents her independence. The film also critiques the double standards faced by women in the industry. Mary is celebrated for her beauty and talent, but judged harshly for prioritizing her career over traditional roles as a wife and mother. Number 4. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? If this list is any indicator, then Robert Aldrich was certainly on a mission. Released in 1962 and directed by Robert Aldrich, Whatever Happened to Baby Jane is a gothic psychological thriller that peels back the glittering facade of Hollywood's golden age to reveal a world of decay, envy, and exploitation. Anchored by the unforgettable performances from Bette Davis and Joan Crawford, the film uses its macabre story to critique the darker aspects of the entertainment industry, particularly its treatment of women and its obsession with youth and stardom. The film follows the fraught relationship between two aging sisters. Baby Jane Hudson, played by Bette Davis, is a former child star whose career fizzled out as she aged. And then Blanche Hudson, played by Joan Crawford, is a successful actress whose stardom overshadowed Jane's, but who is now wheelchair-bound following a mysterious accident. As the film progresses, the sisters live in a decaying Hollywood mansion, their lives marked by bitterness and resentment. Jane, jealous of Blanche's past success and tormented by her own failures, becomes increasingly abusive and unhinged. She torments her disabled sister physically and emotionally. As Jane's mental state deteriorates, the film unveils long-buried secrets about their relationship. Sadly, it all culminates in a shocking and tragic climax. Taking a closer look, the character of Baby Jane Hudson no doubt symbolizes Hollywood's obsession with youth and the fleeting nature of fame. As a child star, Jane was adored and celebrated, but her career crumbled as she aged and her appeal faded. This reflects the harsh reality of Hollywood's golden age, where stars were often discarded once they no longer fit the industry's idealized image of youth and beauty. Jane's inability to move past her childhood stardom highlights the emotional toll of this disposability, as she clings desperately to a bygone era, consumed by bitterness and denial. The toxic relationship between Jane and Blanche mirrors the cutthroat competition among actors in Hollywood. Jane's resentment of Blanche's success reflects the envy and insecurity fostered by an industry that pits performers against one another. This dynamic is particularly pointed given the casting of Bette Davis and Joan Crawford, two iconic actresses whose real-life rivalry mirrored the animosity of their characters. The film thus becomes a meta-commentary on the pressures and rivalries that Hollywood manufactured to keep audiences invested in its stars. The film also underscores the limited roles available to women in Hollywood, especially as they age. Jane and Blanche, once celebrated for their talent and beauty, are now forgotten and isolated, relegated to a crumbling mansion far removed from the glamour of their past. This reflects the industry's tendency to devalue actresses as they aged, often reducing them to minor roles or forcing them into retirement. Jane's descent into madness and Blanche's physical confinement serve as metaphors for the way Hollywood constrained and discarded women once they were no longer considered marketable. If you made it this far, hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any updates from us.
Want an autograph? Write to MGM.
Since when do two-bit hoods and hookers give out autographs?
Just say to me.
LAPD, sit down.
Number 3. LA Confidential. Released in 1997 and directed by Curtis Hanson, LA Confidential is a neo-noir crime thriller that delves deep into the corruption, deceit, and moral ambiguity lurking beneath the glamorous facade of 1950s Los Angeles. Based on James Ellroy's 1990 novel, the film combines intricate plotting with a searing critique of Hollywood's golden age, exposing the underbelly of a city and an industry consumed by ambition, greed, and scandal. As its complex narrative and richly drawn characters unravels the mythology of the golden age, LA Confidential reveals a world where the line between heroes and villains is blurred, and where Hollywood's brightest lights cast the darkest shadows. Set in early 1950s Los Angeles, the story follows 3 LAPD officers as they navigate a city rife with crime, corruption, and scandal. Ed Exley is a by-the-book officer striving to live up to his father's legacy while climbing the department's ranks. Bud White, played by Russell Crowe, is a hot-headed but principled officer with a strong sense of justice, particularly when it comes to protecting women. And you also have Kevin Spacey as Jack Vincennes, a flashy narcotics detective who works closely with tabloid journalist Sid Hudgens to stage high-profile arrests for publicity. The three officers are drawn together when a brutal massacre at the Night Owl coffee shop reveals a tangled web of corruption, prostitution, and murder. As they dig deeper, they uncover connections to the city's elite, including a prostitution ring run by Pierce Patchett. Pierce has his call girls surgically altered to resemble Hollywood stars. Their investigation leads to shocking revelations about the LAPD's own complicity in the crimes, culminating in a violent showdown that exposes the price of justice in a city built on secrets. The thing is, Hollywood in the 1950s marketed itself as a beacon of glamour, romance, and moral clarity. LA Confidential shatters this image by revealing the seedy underbelly of the entertainment industry. The surgically altered call girls, designed to look like Hollywood icons, symbolize how the industry commodifies and manipulates beauty, treating people as disposable objects of desire. This critique extends to the broader culture of the time, exposing the disconnect between the image Hollywood projected and the reality of exploitation and corruption beneath the surface. Sid Hudgens, the editor of the gossip magazine Hush Hush, embodies the tabloid culture that thrived during Hollywood's golden age. Through his collaboration with Jack Vincennes, Hudgens stages celebrity scandals to sell magazines. This highlights the public's appetite for salacious stories and how it fueled an industry of voyeurism and character assassination. In similar fashion, the LAPD, which was portrayed as a bastion of integrity in the public eye, is revealed to be rife with corruption, brutality, and self-interest. Captain Dudley Smith, who initially appears to be a moral authority, is ultimately exposed as the mastermind behind much of the city's criminal activity. This mirrors the real-life scandals that plagued the LAPD during the mid-20th century, where officers often colluded with organized crime, accepted bribes, and used excessive force, all while maintaining a facade of law and order. While LA Confidential is set in the 1950s, its themes resonate far beyond that era. By exposing the moral decay beneath Hollywood's glamour, the film serves as a critique of celebrity culture, media manipulation, and systemic corruption that continues to this day.
Hey, hold it! That's it. Caption: Their honeymoon never ends.
Number 2. A Star is Born. Released in 1937, David O. Selznick's A Star is Born is one of the most iconic films of Hollywood's golden age. Yet beneath its polished surface lies a raw and unflinching critique of the entertainment industry. Directed by William A. Wellman and starring Janet Gaynor and Frederick March, the film tells the story of a young actress's meteoric rise to fame and her mentor's devastating fall from grace. While it celebrates the magic of filmmaking, A Star is Born also exposes the darker realities of stardom during Hollywood's golden age. It sheds light on the relentless pressures of fame, the destructive effects of addiction, and the industry's cold pragmatism. The film follows Esther Blodgett, a small-town girl with big dreams of becoming a movie star. Against her family's objections, she travels to Hollywood, where she struggles to break into the industry. Her fortunes change when she meets Norman Maine, a once successful but now troubled actor whose career is in decline due to his alcoholism. Recognizing Esther's talent and potential, Norman helps her land a role, and she soon adopts the stage name Vicki Lester. Her star rises rapidly, but it eclipses that of Norman as he sinks further into addiction and irrelevance. Despite their love for each other, the pressures of fame and Norman's personal demons create a rift between them. The film's heartbreaking climax comes when Norman, realizing his career is beyond salvation and believing he is a burden to Esther, takes his own life. Esther's transformation from an aspiring actress to a celebrated movie star illustrates the immense sacrifices demanded by Hollywood. While her rise to fame fulfills her dreams, it also comes at a personal cost: estrangement from her family, loss of privacy, and the emotional toll of navigating the industry's relentless pressures. The film critiques the myth of Hollywood as a land of opportunity, showing how stardom often requires individuals to trade their personal lives and identities for public adoration. Norman Maine's tragic decline highlights Hollywood's tendency to discard stars who no longer fit its image of success. Once a beloved actor, Norman becomes a liability as his addiction and declining box office appeal overshadow his talent. This reflects the real-life plight of many Golden Age stars who were celebrated at their peak, but quickly discarded when their careers faltered. The film's portrayal of Norman's addiction is both sympathetic and tragic, illustrating how the very system that celebrates stars can contribute to their downfall. His ultimate fate serves as a sobering reminder of the human cost of fame. Esther's rise to stardom is initially facilitated by Norman, who uses his influence to open doors for her. While this mentorship leads to her success, it also underscores the power imbalances inherent in Hollywood's studio system, where women's careers often depended on the support and approval of male gatekeepers. At the same time, the film subverts traditional gender roles by showing Esther's career surpassing Norman's. However, her success comes with guilt and heartbreak as she struggles to reconcile her ambition with her love for a man unable to adapt to her newfound independence. While A Star is Born is often celebrated for its romantic and emotional storytelling, we believe its true power lies in its unflinching critique of Hollywood's golden age.
We have just 1 month.
Don't they know who I am? Didn't you tell them that there's a contract on my agent's desk right now with just a few minor details to iron out?
Number 1. The Star. Directed by Stuart Heisler, The Star is a poignant 1952 drama that explores the struggles of an aging actress battling irrelevance in the cutthroat world of Hollywood. Starring Bette Davis in a powerhouse performance as the washed-up screen star Margaret Elliott, the film offers a raw and unflinching look at the darker side of the golden age of Hollywood. Through its incisive narrative and Davis's remarkable portrayal, The Star critiques the entertainment industry's obsession with youth, its disregard for fading talent, and the emotional toll of stardom. It is a story of desperation, self-delusion, and the high cost of fame, resonating with the struggles faced by countless actors during Hollywood's most glamorous era. In this film, Bette Davis as Margaret Elliott was once a celebrated Hollywood actress, but her stars faded, and now she faces financial ruin and professional obscurity. Unable to accept the decline of her career, Margaret clings to her memories of fame and refuses to acknowledge her diminished status. In a moment of desperation, she pawns her Academy Award to make ends meet. After a humiliating stint as a department store clerk, Margaret turns to alcohol and begins making reckless decisions, including a disastrous attempt to restart her career by barging into a studio head's home to demand a role. Eventually, Margaret comes to terms with the realities of her situation, so she begins to rebuild her life, finding strength and dignity in her own identity rather than her past fame. At the heart of The Star is Hollywood's ruthless focus on youth and beauty, which often leaves aging actors, especially women, cast aside. Margaret's plight reflects the harsh realities of an industry that celebrated women for their looks and discarded them once they no longer fit its idealized image. This critique resonates deeply with the experiences of many real-life actresses of the era, including Bette Davis herself, who faced diminishing opportunities as she aged. Margaret's experiences highlight the gender-powered dynamics of Hollywood. Her attempts to reignite her career are met with condescension and rejection from male studio executives who hold the keys to her success. The film critiques the limited agency afforded to women in the industry, where actresses often relied on the whims of male decision-makers and were subjected to scrutiny based on their appearance and age. That said, this film is more than a character study. It is a searing indictment of Hollywood's golden age, exposing the darker realities behind its glittering facade. Bette Davis's powerful performance brings humanity and depth to a story that remains relevant in today's celebrity-driven culture. So, how relevant do you think these films are? Do share your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button. You also can't miss the next video on screen.